loses the facade. She loses the routine. She loses the mask, the makeup, and she exposes her vulnerability. She goes to the man of God and she says to him, my husband is dead. And my husband was a follower of you, so you know he feared the Lord. My boys are being threatened to be taken from me. What are we going to do? In her darkest moment, the light of her faith shines through, and instead of her separating herself from her situation in order that God may pity her, she declares, my husband is gone, my boys are in trouble. Now what are we going to do to resolve this situation? You see, through the transparency of vulnerability, she postured herself into God's will. Because when you're transparently vulnerable, God can move in and through your life unhindered. The process of transparency is grief, refocus, redirect, and reclaim. The process of transparency is grief, refocus, redirect, and reclaim. The grief is your ability to accept an unchangeable reality you asked God to keep you from in the first place. The refocus is accepting my anger with God while acknowledging God is still sovereign. The redirect is understanding God is still sovereign and God will never leave nor forsake you. The reclaim is cashing in on God's promises. And that's where many of us are right now. We're at a stage in our life where we are at a moment of grief. You're grieved. You're angry with God. You're angry God didn't sustain what you trusted God with. Because the reality of it is we didn't bank on losing it. We weren't ready to lose it, but now we're gone. And the reality of it is that it can be a whole plethora of things. And God understands that there is a level of grief with you losing that loved one, with you losing that loved possession, with you losing that loved job, with you losing that salary that you worked so hard for, you losing the years invested into a corporation that had no loyalty to you. God understands that you are trusting him to sustain it, and yet it was able to let you down. And now you're grieved. You had to bury the very thing you love. You had to watch go down the drain the very thing that you invested your time into, your concern and the well-being of your mind into. You put all of these years in, you put all of these moments, you put this investment into it, and now it's gone. You're angry. Whether you believe you are comfortable enough to say it, the reality of it is you're angry with God. And God says, I could bless you if I could trust you to be honest. A lot of us walk around angry at God and try to act like we just love God the most. But if you let God know, God, I'm angry with you, God said, now I can remove your anger. I can replace your anger with an angel that I already had assigned to you to get you through the moment. God says, I need you to go through grief so you can get over yourself. This woman, she didn't bank on losing what she lost. But she didn't allow her anger to have her more lost in the end than she was in the beginning. She says and declares, my husband is gone. But her actions refuses for her to be a victim. All the while trusting enough in God to be vulnerable. Because if she wallowed in the valley of victimization, not only was she going to lose the husband that was already gone, she was going to lose the children that were still with her. She grieved Therefore, she was able to refocus. Her words are few, but her actions says, and yet we still know that all things work together for the good of them who love God and them who are called according to his purpose. Meaning things are not the way I would have prayed for them to be, yet she confessed in her actions, God is still God. And because God is still God, God will never let me wallow in my sorrow. Therefore, there has got to be a way already established to be a way out of no way. I didn't want to be in what I'm in, but if I'm in it, that means God has already paid out a way for me not to make this place my residence, which means I might be going through, but the emphasis is on I'm going through, which means I'm going through it for the moment, but I'm going to come out on the other side, and I'm going to be all the better for what I had to go through. Is there anybody in here today that can testify today and say, I've been through some things I did not want to be in, but thanks be to God, you don't know what I've been through, because God was faithful enough, God was just enough, God was kind enough, God was close enough to be there for me in a moment that I did not want to be in myself. This woman is here, and she moves from being angry to operating in authority. Operating in authority is not always about giving instruction. Come on, sir. But sometimes it's simply trusting in the provision that you remember. What do you mean? Her husband died. She didn't go to her friend's house. No, she didn't. Come on. Her husband died. She didn't go to her sister. She didn't go to her brother. She didn't go to her mama. She didn't stay in her room. Her husband died. And she said, I'm going to go to the one person my husband used to leave me for to go and perform an assignment. When you lose something, it's important to know where to go. And oftentimes we run to the wrong stuff. We run to the 1800. We run to the Avion. We run to the Don Julio. But God says, what about me? God says, you want to get angry with me, hide your anger, but partake in something that's going to make you confess the anger and then renege on it in the morning. My God. Lord.
Preach, man.
We'll run to Mary Jane, but we won't run to Mary's baby.
Run to Mary Jane, won't run to Mary's baby.
God says you got to know what to run to. She lost her husband, and she didn't get on Facebook and say, I just need y'all all to pray for me. I don't know how I'm going to make it. She went to the man of God and said, my husband is gone. My children are being threatened. What are we going to do?
Come on, man.
In the middle of the night, my husband was getting up, leaving me and our children to come and see about somebody else's dead mama, dead daddy, dead dog and cat. Come on, man. There was no expectation of resurrection. They just wanted us to be sad with them. But now my husband is gone. And there's nobody here. So now I got to come to you. It's amazing that in her grief, she had to do what she watched her husband do time and time again. She had to get up and go. She had to get up and go. And there's somebody here today. You're already living in that reality because they don't know that it's a miracle we see you today because you bypassed 5 signs that said stay at home. But you declared in your spirit, today is the day that I'm going to get up. Because I can't afford to stay in this hellhole no longer. I'm talking to somebody up in here, and I know for a fact in the spirit, I'm preaching better than you saying something. The reality of it is, you already knew what you were going through, and you were honest with yourself on this morning. You said, if I don't do anything else, I'm going to get to the place where they said the presence of God is always available. Sometimes you got to get to God's house so God can find a way to your house. I'm not here because I want to be. I'm here because I need God with me. She's angry. But she redirects her emotions from anger to the evangelical jurisdiction of authority.
The evangelical jurisdiction.
She finds the man of God and claims to him. She reclaims in her process. My husband's dead, they're trying to take my boys. So I'm standing here not as a victim, but I'm standing here as a child of the Most High God, requesting a move of Jehovah Jireh. Not only do you have to know who to go to, you got to know what to say once you get there. She said, I don't need a healing. I don't need deliverance. I don't need prosperity. She didn't ask for sowing and reaping. She said, I need provision. God, don't part a Red Sea. I need you to come here. I don't need manna from on high. I need my Most High God right here, right now. What are we going to do? She said, what are we going to do, Elisha? Elisha said, what's in your house?
It's in your house.
Elisha cut straight to the chase. He didn't wallow where she was. He didn't try to find out. He didn't say, this is the time to counsel. Well, what happened before you came here? What was the cause to your effect? He didn't get into any of that. He said, what's in your house? Because you came here mighty confident today, so I'm already believing you already been through those steps. So go ahead and tell me what is in your house. And I know that's going to make some of you tune me out because we don't want people to know what's in our house. We don't want nobody coming in our house. We don't want nobody coming by our house because we don't want anybody to find out what's really in our house. But this woman was so vulnerable and so desperate and so in need of Jehovah Jireh. She said, I ain't got nothing. Except a pot of oil.
That's all you need, right?
The text did not say she was homeless, but she said she didn't have no clothes.
It's in the house, right?
The text did not say she was homeless, but she didn't say she had any food. You know, that's our favorite prayer. Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning, putting clothes on my back and food on the table. She said, I ain't got none of that. I ain't got no love. I ain't got no peace. I ain't got no kindness. I ain't got no patience. All I got in my house right now is nothing except a pot of oil. And sometimes you got to get in position to be real enough to God to understand that, God, I'm going to be so honest with you, it's going to scare me. I ain't got nothing of value in my house. My children still there. They ain't took them yet, but they're there. What you got in your house? Nothing. All right. Except some oil. It was clear she loved her children because she came to the man of God to keep her children from being taken. But when it was asked, what's in your house? She said nothing. She made it clear, I need everything God got. I ain't got nothing. Because if I start listing what I got, I might miss the things that God has. I don't have anything. I'm empty, God. Fill me up. We don't like to let people know we empty. We want them to believe we're running on fuel. No, you're running on fumes. You getting ready to pass out and you gonna kill me, thinking that you got this Holy Ghost going on and that's just a smoke cloud. Don't kill me with your fantasy. I need you to be honest. God, I'm operating on nothingness. I just need some of you. Because just some of you will feel all of me. I ain't got nothing except a pot of oil.
My God, my God.
Hey, man, you preaching, man.
Other than the dilemma that you're going through, thank you. Other than your circumstance that you want God to give his undivided attention to. What's in your house? I know you're concerned about what other people may say. Got that woman in your house that don't live in your house. I know, but God ain't interested in that.
No, all right. True. Yes, Lord.
You got her husband in your house, but God ain't interested in that. Got them bad kids in your house.
Come on, baby.
God ain't interested in that.
Preach, sir.
God says this is not science. We're not trying to get into all the skeletons up in your closet. Because if you're honest, I'll make it all disappear like that. I know you're afraid to leave them, but God says, if you're honest, I'll make them disappear. God says, I'll remove it if you're honest with me. It's your inability to be honest with God that's keeping the things of God from your life. Just be honest.
Be honest. Lord.
Woman, what's in your house? I got nothing but a pot of oil. If there's one thing I know about the black house, the black family, it might not be a pot of oil, but there's a cup of oil somewhere near. Whether it's bacon grease, Crisco, vegetable oil, peanut oil, canola oil, extra virgin oil, there's some oil somewhere. If you have an African American residence, there is some oil somewhere, some coconut oil, some baby oil, there's some oil in the house somewhere.
Come on, man.
This ain't the time to be particular what it's in. You just gotta let me know, I got some oil.
Yeah, got some oil. Got some oil.
It might be in a coffee cup, in a glass, in a plastic cup. It's not in the cup. But all you know is I got some oil.
They shouting.
The benefit of being resourceful is you find yourself being in position to be blessed and you didn't even know it.
Come on.
Because the black house don't throw out oil.
We keep some oil around.
I was in the black house when I realized burnt oil could be drained. Put the crumbs through the strainer. The oil's going to get it. What's not supposed to be in there, we can throw that away.
We resourceful, man. We resourceful. We are resourceful.
Some of the best chicken I had tastes like French fries. Because we ain't got that much oil. We only got a little bit of oil. And we going to make it work. Y'all know what it is to eat all that you got on that one little bit of oil you got. You only had enough oil to put in the pot that much. It was one of the best meals you ever had in your life. You said, my mama's a miracle worker. The happiest day of my mama's life, she thought I was talking about that. I was talking like her. Waymaker, miracle worker. Promise keeper, light in the darkness. Mama, that's who you are. Lord knows I was starving and got negative 89 cents in my account. Can't stop and get a hot and ready if I wanted to. Mama made her way out of no way. There's a pot of oil, a cup of oil. There's an evidence of oil in your house somewhere. If you're honest enough, God can take the oil you got. Come on, and work the miracle you need. Turn to the person next to you and say, God can take the oil you got.
God can take the oil you got.
And work the miracle you need. Because here's a free nugget. The oil can go where your eyes can't. There are some cracks and some crevices that the oil can get into that you didn't even know was there. God says, if you just put a little bit of that oil in my hand, I'll work a miracle. Sometimes God will put you in a get ready to be laughed at predicament just to prove that God is going to get the glory and everything's going to work out for your good. She said, all I got is a pot of oil. Elisha says to her, now that we established what's in your house, go to your neighbors. Get some pots. Don't get a few. Get some pots. Take those pots. I want you to shut you and your sons up in the house. The woman does something that transcends human capacity. She does exactly what he said. The reason the miracle God has been working in your life has not yet come around to completion is because we continue to try to remix what God said. I like when people send Word documents via email because you have to enable revisions. Meaning, I'm not looking for you to tamper with this. I want you to print it how I sent it. God says when I'm speaking from heaven, I have a vantage view that you don't have. I'm sitting high and looking low. I can see what you're getting ready to go into. You don't want to see what you're going to. I see where the way is made. It's not an accident that we call him a way maker. He said, I made the way that you're going through and I made the way out of it. I have a vantage point that you do not have. This is not the time for you to use your creative expertise of knowing nothing. This is not the time to use, I always got a better way. It's 5 ways to get home. You only need one. She does as the man of God. Listen. She does as the man of God. It didn't come directly from God. It came from the man of God.
Come on.
And he says to her, when all the pots are filled, keep pouring. Because he told her not to get a few. The text lets us know that a moment came. She asked for another pot. Son said, we won't have no more. The text said, and it was then that the oil stopped pouring. Elisha says to her, take the oil, sell the oil, pay off your debt, live off the rest. When you trust God with your vulnerability, it will be revealed to you what's in your house. When you are truthful about what's in your house, God can use what's in your house to bless your house. You and your family. But we have to be careful not to limit what God can do for us predicated upon what we see. The text never says how much oil was poured. What it does say is that she only had one pot. She had one pot. He told her to go get many pots. He instructed her to pour the oil until the pots were filled. This only not makes sense to me? Okay, all right.
Come on.
It says she started with one. She trusted the man of God and her one pot.
Come on, sir.
So much so that she was able to pay off the debt, keep her kids, and live off the rest. I've discovered that the Lord has a way of stretching your little bit into a lot of it. The reality is that you can just be like this woman and be so honest that you adore what's in your house and cherish what's in your house and appreciate what you do have before you acknowledge what you don't. The Lord has a way to make sure the oil never runs out. For For I was told by a wise man that whatever God is in will last. And whatever God is not in, it will run out. The oil can do what eyes cannot see. It can do what minds have deemed impossible. It can do what the mouth says is improbable. What logic liturgically implies is illogical. But God has a way to allow the oil to continue to flow. The word says that the woman, she got the oil and she got the pots and continued to pour and continue to pour. I 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 continue to pour. And I asked for another pot. And the son said, there are no more pots to pour. And then the oil stay still. But I wish she would have been like me, a little bit accident prone, and just continued to pour the oil in a pot that was already filled. Because the God we serve is the God of the overflow. Overflow my pot. Let it flow. I wish there was somebody in here that was going to go home and grab their pot and say, God, all I got is this pot of oil. I ain't got nothing left in here. All I got is in this oil. I wish you would grab your neighbor by the hand and tell them when you go home, tell the Lord, my pot is ready for the overflow. Dearly beloved, don't stop praying. Dearly beloved, don't stop seeking. You already know the answer you need is already in your house. Proving one thing, God's gonna get the glory. And every time, it's gonna be alright. Is there anybody here that knows God is alright? Is there anybody here that knows God is alright? Say I. Say I. Say I dare somebody to look toward heaven and say, Lord, let the oil flow. Let the oil flow in my house, in my life, over my children, over my job, over my money, over my family. Let it flow. Let it flow. The answer is in your house. Not there somebody stand to their feet and come to the altar and say, I'm getting ready.